A real man wouldn't do that. A real man would look at me and say, "Hey, Bob."
I'm looking at you now.
Well, okay.
So what's the big deal? I mean, you're not anything, Bob.
So
you're not scary.
No,
basically.
Why was you afraid of me? Have I ever really hurt you or did anything?
Look, this is a lifestyle that I live.
Yeah,
I don't threaten people.
You should be ashamed of it.
I don't threaten people.
No, you just send people to hell.
I don't threaten people.
That's different. It's better to threaten somebody.
I don't threaten people.
Send them to hell is better.
And when I know that people have threatened me, I go ahead and give them room.
What did I threaten you? Because I said you get in my face?
If you don't get in my face, me to get in your face, you said.
Well, okay. Well, how's that a threat? If you don't get in my face, it can't be a threat.
Okay, let's go back to our clip.
You said
Can we at least play the clip?
That you had a right to go anywhere and do anywhere and say anything you want. I said, you don't do that in my face. That'll prove
No, that's not what you said. You said, why don't you bring your cameras over to our house?
Why don't you?
Okay, now let's just get to people's mindset now. Is us having a camera?
Now, I got to read one little page and he's been ranting.
I'm just asking you a question. You get to say something and I'll wait.
The clip, if we could.
Okay, here's Ted Kennedy.
Knocking Ted Kennedy now that's in the hospital, saying all kinds of outlandish things about him and all. And sure, he did things that was wrong way back then, but a lot of people have. But the only thing it would take for the Republicans to like Ted Kennedy, knocking Ted Kennedy now that's in the hospital, saying all kinds of outlandish things about him and all. And sure, he did things that was wrong way back then, but a lot of people have.
Double standard.
Where is that bet? I think that every clip you showed so far just remind me on how good I was when I was over there. I miss doing that. I really do, because I had so many friends.
Let's draw you back to the subject. All the time. Let's come back to the subject.
Where did I say what you said I said?
Back to the subject.
Where did I say what you said?
You didn't hear yourself say that we shouldn't talk about Ted Kennedy, what he did 30 years ago.
Exactly right.
Okay, my crime was 1978. Mm-hmm. How's your math?
It don't matter, Johnny.
It doesn't matter. So you have a double standard.
So if you and I are arguing with each other,
you just told.
I'm not arguing with. I'm not debating.
You just
with Ted
told
Kennedy.
the community it doesn't matter. You will give Ted Kennedy a pass.
Okay, Johnny, your pass doesn't matter, but you're the one that brought it up tonight.
No, you did.
You brought it up.
No,
you brought it up.
No.
I didn't say Johnny served time for armed robbery in Texas, did I?
In the present, you have said you'd like for me to get in your face.
And
you
how
said
is that?
Just hold it. You said you'd like to slap Charles. Now we're talking about your behavior now.
And the biggest complaint I ever got around the whole community, the biggest complaint that was ever told me, and said it is because the only thing that they wish I would have did would follow through. That made me more famous than anything I ever did. I'm sorry, Charles. Sorry, Charles, but that's the truth.
At the same point, Bob, is that a good thing to do?
You're sitting here throwing toilet paper on me. You have what's called back there?
No, wait a minute. Somebody else
yelling insults and all this kind of stuff. And I'm sitting here. Johnny can't even take nothing. How about doing his show and throw a little toilet paper on him and have people in the back room calling insults? I had a guest on here that you guys totally humiliated, Dr. May, on and on and on.
So
you
you're
guys
basically giving excuses as to why you started acting like that in the present.
It's not an act. It wasn't an act.
Okay.
I put Charles in his place. Charles was asking for it. There's consequences for your actions.
Okay,
Johnny.
what are they? And what standard are you using, Bob? You don't use the Bible, so what standard? There's no hell. What rules do you really get? How is it that you determine who's misbehaving? Would you tell the community that?
Well, that's an individual thing, isn't it, Johnny?
Is
Same as like which religion I go to.
It is
you
an
sat
individual
there and
thing?
condemn. Let me ask you this: Didn't you preach a sermon one time
You didn't answer
that
that
condemned
question.
because there was music at a
You didn't
funeral
want to answer
that
that
you
question.
sent everybody to hell?
You didn't want to answer that question.
What's the question, Johnny?
The question was,
I get to determine what. I'm an individual. If you walk in my house, you're going to get
we're not
hurt.
talking about your house. We're talking about at the studio where you wished you to follow through and slap Charles.
Okay.
How do you determine what's wrong?
How does he determine?
We're talking about you, Bob.
When you step over the line, Johnny, I'm a street man. When you step over the line, there's consequences.
Oh, really?
You get in my face, there's consequences.
Okay, now.
You come to my house, there's consequences.
These are Bob Lawson's rules.
No,
laws.
those are everybody's rules.
Really?
You betcha. You betcha.
Okay, so if I come to your house, you're saying what can you do?
You come in my house.
I said come to your house. What if I come to your house?
I'd speak to you like I would anybody else.
All right, so
but don't come to my house telling me you got a freedom to do this and a right to do this when you deprive everybody else of their freedoms and rights.
All right, but when we're at the studio, do you think you have a right to slap somebody?
Whose rights is he deprived?
When he cuts people off on his show and then talks about them and don't take calls and you preach one thing and then you do another. But if I'm wherever I am on this earth, if somebody gets in my face, they are subject for the consequences.
What's getting in your face?
You get up in my face and start belligerent me or making me feel less than a man, there's consequences for that.
laws that would protect.
Well, then let the laws take care of it.
But in
Then.
other words, if you hit somebody and you assault
But nobody
somebody,
did. See, you're off on
But
this.
you were on this big thing
And
about you
nobody-
wished you would have gone on
nobody
through.
did.
Everybody wanted you to
I
follow through.
still wish you would, Johnny, because I would love for you to do that. Nothing
You would like to slap Charles, is what
No,
you
I
said.
like Charles actually.
Oh, really? You're
Yeah.
such a phony. You said he's a faggot.
I was mad and I said that. You're
Okay.
exactly
Oh, so
right.
that wasn't real, was it?
So we all know what was said, Johnny.
Okay.
I mean, this is not a
And
revelation here. We
and-
all know what was said. That show was the most
And you
popular
said-
show ever shown.
and you
in
said that
Martinsville, Henry
Jessica.
County.
Did you say Jessica worked for the devil or not? We want to get that.
Obviously, I did. If you got it on there,
Good.
and that's what everybody. That's the number one thing around here in this town. That say people that work here, they work for the devil. That's what they say.
Okay.
People
You
in this
couldn't wait
town.
to get back
and
up
I'm
here.
talking about for the
You couldn't
highest
wait to
people.
get back up here.
I
could you?
didn't. Charles asked me, Johnny. See, again, you're lying.
Okay.
You don't have your information.
Did you have to come?
Uh,
You lowered yourself to
Did
this.
I lower myself, Johnny?
I don't know. That's what
I'm
you
having
said.
a great time. I'm
You said
showing
everybody
you
up here.
I'm showing you up for the phony that
You
you
said
are.
everybody up here was felons, adulterers. Is that not right?
That's probably
And
true.
didn't you say, I'll never come on that hill again?
I think I did say that.
I think
yeah.
you did too.
Yeah. So what? So what?
So I'm
The
saying,
people that like me
why
before I
is it
come up
that you
here,
have such a problem with me when you actually go against
why
all
is
the
it you have
standards?
such a problem with everybody in the community? You condemn everybody in Martinsville and Henry County to hell. You say that you even wrote a letter to the editor telling some lady the son just got killed in a car wreck that he was condemned to go to hell. Now, no real man would ever do that. You are a phony. There's not words low enough to describe a person that would sink to that level.
Okay. You know what the EMT said in the newspaper? She said the boy said he didn't know Jesus, and then he uttered an unintelligible prayer.
And how does that relate to
I
you?
listened to you, uttered an unintelligible prayer, and then she pronounced him saved.
So how do you know?
All right, how do I know what?
How do you know he's not saved? Have you been dead and come back? Do
Okay,
you know?
let's get
you
this
know
straight.
what actually happens after you die?
Let's get this straight.
No, you don't.
She said that
How does
the
that
boy
translate
said,
into your problem?
the boy said, because here's what our community gets. This is the message you want our community to send. The community actually gets the message that you can die in those kind of circumstances, drunk, having all these difficult things as a teenager, and there's no consequences, Bob. So I, as a man of God, should sit by and let an EMT say that that boy who told her he didn't know Jesus and uttered an unintelligible prayer went to heaven. Is that the message we want to send our teenagers?
And how does that relate to being Johnny's problems? How's that little Johnny's
said-
problem? I think I'm starting to discover where all those little Johnny jokes come from.
Okay. You said,
Johnny jokes.
Yeah, little Johnny did this, little Johnny did that, you know, the disruptive, mean behavior, bad jokes, on and on
okay,
and on.
you said that I shouldn't counter that. Do I not have a right as a believer to counter something that I think is detrimental to this
Do
community?
you not have a right to offend, degrade, humiliate
Now,
a woman that's suffering
Bob, what
immensely from losing her child, and you're going to
Bob.
remind her that her son is going to hell?
Bob, offend. Is that your rule? Is that your standard? If it's offensive, I shouldn't get to say it.
No, most people have enough intelligence to know when to
Well,
speak
what are you
about
saying?
something and
You
what
said
not.
it was offensive, so I shouldn't say it.
It is offensive.
Okay, is offensive your standard for not saying something?
It's the same as I don't tell you you're ugly.
Okay, you
I
say
can
there
think
is no
you're
hell.
ugly, but I wouldn't tell you.
You don't
you're
believe
ugly.
there is a God. Now, you think that's not offensive?
I didn't say. I do believe that. I believe there's a power, but I don't know what it is,
Hey, before we
Johnny.
take a commercial break, do you think he's ugly?
No, he's not ugly, but he's far from handsome.
I will be right back. Stay with us.
And raise children and make them suffer and listen to that crap for the rest
You ever
of their
slap-
life.
Okay,
you
we're
ever
back
slap-
here.
I bet you- I bet you
Arguments
like
you ever
going on
slap
during the
one?
commercial break.
No,
and
I've
the
never
deal's
touched
going
a
on right
woman in
now.
my life.
Okay, let me get y'all to silence down there. We talked about credibility. Johnny, your turn. What's
Now wait a minute. How come it's always Johnny's turn? He just got done a while ago with the reading
let
the
him
letter.
have it. Let him have
Reading
it.
the letter, and well, Lord, he just
I
got
didn't want
done.
to let you have another.
It's fine.
Okay, I'll just
it's
finish
fine.
up this one little page over here. How come nobody's hardly ever heard you pray, John? Do you pray? Do you?
Matthew 6 says that my prayers don't need to be in the open, Bob. I'd be condemned if I did, so I just go ahead and don't
Okay,
do
got
it.
your
I
own
don't do it and
advice on
open
it.
it.
When's the last time you ever exhibited a nice, warm, loving smile? You know, you're talking about credibility. Let me tell you some of the accomplishments that I've done, Johnny, and then you can tell me some of your accomplishments, okay?
Okay.
I won a baseball scholarship out of high school and played professional baseball, okay? I was on the all-Army baseball team. I won 3 national championships in softball. By the way, where's your flag, Johnny? Are you anti-American? I've never seen you wear a flag.
I thought he would bring that up.
Numerous accommodations and medals from the U.S. Army. You are more mindful of Jim Jones and David Koresh to me. And if a person needed any further proof about your sanity that you now say that if there was a music played at a funeral, that they all go to hell. Do they, Johnny? If there's music played at a funeral, do they
I
all
was
go to
kind
hell?
of taking care of one of your accusations at a time. Where's my flag? Can we go up just
Well,
a
why
second?
ain't you got it on?
Can I have
Why
my
don't
turn?
you have it on?
Obama went for a whole year without wearing a flag. What does that mean?
Well,
Well,
what does that
well,
got to do with you? You're always somewhere else.
here
Stick
we go.
with Johnny.
Here we go.
Stick inside yourself.
What is that? That's October of last year. And what's that on my lapel?
Well, then you've turned anti-American since then.
That is a flag.
It is a flag.
Okay, so you turned
and if
anti-
you watch, I'll smile while we're at it.
It won't be genuine because
Okay.
you can't. You that's a first sign of a
Okay.
person that's psychotic.
All right, now watch.
Is their inability
All
to
right,
smile.
It's my
You think-
turn.
Okay,
You think
give me,
he's psychotic?
give me,
Wait a
Johnny.
minute. He is. You accuse him of being psychotic?
Yeah, I think he's psycho.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, now watch this. He asked me, had I ever worn a flag? Never seen
No, I
one
didn't
flag.
say that. I
What
said,
did you
where
say?
is your flag?
Okay, you
Are
said-
you anti-American?
no, you said, I
said,
don't
where's your
think-
flag? Are you anti-American?
I said, I don't think. You said, I don't think I've ever seen you with a flag. That's
Well, I don't
exactly
think I
why.
have.
That's exactly why I had to
Is
click.
that a lie too, Johnny?
Okay. Did I wear a flag?
It looks like a one, but I
Okay.
can't see it from here.
Okay. Now here's your next thing. You said, why
I
aren't
wear
you wearing it
mine
now?
all the time.
Just a minute. Why? You said, why aren't you wearing it now? And I said, Obama didn't wear one for a year.
So what?
Okay. Well, then so what?
I'm
if I
not
don't have
talking
one?
to Obama.
Okay, but see, you have a double standard. That's
No,
what
I
we're
don't have a
demonstrating.
double standard.
Can
Now you're
Bob,
comparing yourself. Now,
Bob.
like if I said that, you say you're comparing yourself to
Bob.
Jesus. Are you comparing yourself to Obama?
Just a minute.
Are you?
All I'm saying is you said so what to Obama, but it's a big deal about me.
It is a big deal about you.
Is it a big deal about Obama?
No, not to me.
Okay.
No,
So see,
I ain't
you have a
talking
double
to
standard.
Obama. It ain't. No, I ain't talking to Obama. He wears
Okay.
a flag now.
Okay, but
You
for
don't
a
have
year,
one on now.
for a year he didn't.
Well,
So-
he does now.
Okay, so
Well,
what
where's
was
your
he?
forgiveness then?
What?
Where's
I
your
didn't say anything
forgiveness?
about it. This is
Have
your
you
argument.
forgiven him for not wearing
This
a
is
flag?
your argument.
I tell you
And
what,
we
you're-
just
You're
demonstrated.
amazing where you
Yes,
think that
I
you
am.
win something. You'll be losing like crazy, and you say it's like we did in Vietnam. We just quit and declared ourselves the winner.
Yeah.
That's what you
Yeah.
do. You just say, "Oh, well, I won that one."
Is this the best you can do? I demonstrate every time you try to say something. I bring a clip up.
Do
and
you
show.
have a flag on, Johnny?
I don't have a flag on
Why
tonight.
don't you have a flag on, Johnny?
I didn't really know that it was something that determined anything about me if I didn't wear a flag everywhere I went.
It
Is that a
shows you're a
rule?
patriot.
Really?
Yeah, it does.
Everywhere you go, Charles.
Anytime
You're
I
not
wear a
patriotic?
suit, anytime I wear a suit,
Any way to
well,
pan
people
our
don't
audience?
put it on their shirt.
Really? Is this a
That's
Bob
what-
Lawson rule?
That's what this is for.
Did I miss this memo? Is this a
Yeah,
Bob Lawson
you
rule?
miss all the memos that
Okay.
show you in a bad light, Johnny.
Okay.
And most all of them do show you in a
So
bad
what
light.
was Obama bad when he didn't have his?
I think he should have had it on, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh,
Well, we
that's
just
cool. I love it when Johnny, you're going to say, oh, you like kind of, oh, never mind. But anyways, okay, can I go to questions? I got some questions for Johnny,
All
okay?
right, go ahead.
All right. Why does the Church of Christ insist that their name is spiritual when it cannot be found in the Bible? Church of God, I think, is in there 8 times.
you're going to just stop and let me answer? Or you're just going to keep going
Yeah,
to
you
the
can answer
community?
that one.
Okay.
Answer that one.
What Bible do you want to read the Church of Christ from?
It don't matter to me. Just read it.
How
to me.
about the King James? So what do we do? What do we do with your question though? Once I read the Church of
Well,
Christ,
if you read it to me, then it's in there, Johnny.
Okay.
I'm just asking you a question.
All right.
Don't get so defensive.
I'm just
Lord,
wondering what
settle down.
point.
Do you take medication?
I'm.
You do, don't you?
We're talking about somebody settling down. You have been all over the place.
Mhm. Well, we'll let the people decide,
Okay.
right?
All right,
The
here we
people
go.
will be the deciders.
Here we go. Now I want to know
Wait a minute,
what's
wait
it
a
going to
minute.
demonstrate?
Bob, I got to ask on that one because that's the night you walked off. I asked you about medication.
No,
You went off now.
you when you go across the line and you start talking to a veteran about post-traumatic stress, Charles, you've gone too far. And you're lucky some post-traumatic stress victims, you'd be in the ground right now.
Well, why not a fair question?
It's not a fair question.
Okay.
You have no earthly idea of what that denotes, Charles. None whatsoever. So don't even go there
That's a
now.
Bob Lawson rule. Also.
Don't even go there now. No, you
You're
wouldn't know because
unpatriotic.
you're a draft dodger, and probably you're a draft dodger.
I wasn't even old enough to be in the draft.
There's always been people can join the army.
Oh,
You-
and they dodged the draft if
well,
they didn't. Bob?
it could. I would suspect in
Okay,
your
the
case.
community needs to know that if you didn't go to join up, you're a draft dodger. That's what you just said.
Johnny, I suspect the reason you. I suspect
Not patriotic if you don't
Did
wear
you
a flag.
Have you ever tried to join the military?
You're not patriotic if you don't wear a flag.
No, I never said that. See, you're putting words in my. I never said that. I know some of the most patriotic people in the world.
And you said that Obama should have.
He should have wore a flag. Yeah,
Wow.
He's president of the United States. He should have wore a flag.
He wasn't president then.
Well, it don't matter whether he's president or not. He's
Oh.
running for the presidency.
Oh,
Oh, see, I love it when he
I do
does.
too.
Oh,
I love it when
oh,
you
it makes you look
basically
really phony.
pass your opinion off on
And you
everybody.
come on here and defend wearing a flag when you ain't wearing one. Now, how hypocritical is that?
And I didn't defend wearing a flag. The
All right,
question was,
just
have you ever
look.
worn a flag? October of last year, I showed it. How
They
about
didn't say-
you?
That wasn't the question. That was not the
Oh,
question.
really?
The question was, where's your flag?
No, that's not what the question
Okay,
was.
then you just go on, Johnny. Read me what you got there. 'Cause
Okay.
you're going to twist, bend, and distort everything.
Okay, but the thing is, Bob, when I show you the Church of Christ, what are you going to do? Are you going to back up and say you didn't know that? That was
It's
actually
a question.
charge?
It's a question
Okay.
somebody gave me to ask you.
All right, salute one another with a holy kiss. The churches of Christ salute you.
The churches of Christ.
Okay.
Okay. And how does that relate to your church over here? Don't you
You
think
didn't ask me to
back in
relate.
those days, all the churches were maybe Church of Christ?
In those
But
days.
that's what it was.
In those
and
days,
then they
Bob.
all, okay, we'll go
Are
on.
you a Bible scholar now? Is
Every
that-
major religion texts were written at the time when women regarded as little more than talking cattle. Why do some still do that today, and especially your church, Johnny? Did God hate women?
Okay, now let's take the question a little at a time. What are you affirming now?
Why do all your major religions degrade women and relegate them to the back row, and especially your church?
I have an answer for the major religions.
Okay, no, okay, then answer your own.
Okay, for
Why are
the
women-
Church of Christ.
Can women preach in your church?
Just a minute.
Can
Are you
you
going to
preach?
let me answer?
Well, you're just too slow, Johnny. You're going to have to keep up. I can't stop the class to keep up with little Johnny.
Let him answer.
All right. So the Bible says that the man is the head of the home. Is that degrading to a woman?
I believe that's that's degrading. Yeah.
Okay. I'm glad the community gets
all
to hear
people
that.
are equal.
Okay. All right. So you actually do not
Black,
believe.
white, men and women
All right.
are
All
equal.
I'm asking is it the case in your house that you were the head of the house or your wife was the head of the house?
My wife pretty much ran everything.
Okay.
But I was away for 21 years, off and on, back and
All
forth.
four wives?
Yeah, my last three was after I got out of service.
Okay. The
Not that
Bible,
it's any of your business.
everybody, well, aren't we discussing things here?
Oh,
You're
yeah,
asking me
sure,
questions.
Johnny,
Okay.
but I'm proud of all of them.
All of the persons out there in religion believe that the man is the head of the house, and they have no problem with that being chauvinistic.
Did God hate women?
That's not chauvinistic to be somebody to be in charge.
Can they preach in your church?
They can't be the head of the home, and likewise, all of those same religious people who accept the man as the head of the home, they then turn around and won't accept what God says about who is the head of the church. Now, that's consistency, Bob. That's all I'm saying. All of them don't
Let
have
me
a
show you
problem.
an inconsistency
Okay.
in your church.
Okay.
Women can teach Bible classes, right?
Right.
But they can't teach to the congregation.
They can't teach men Bible classes.
Oh, they can't.
No.
Oh, why? The men are too superior.
No, it's happened. We happen to follow this book. And did you know until the 1940s, really, there weren't really any women teaching men in the major denomination? Did you know that, Bob?
Is your
Did you know
church-
that?
Is your I don't care. Is your church homophobic?
See,
Is your church homophobic?
no.
And what
No,
do you
it's
think
not.
about homosexuality?
I think homosexuality is a sin.
You do.
Yeah.
And what makes you think that? Don't you think that God, knowing that these people were going to be
Now, which
born-
God are we talking about?
Your God.
Okay, but
Well, that's the only one we can talk about is
all
your
right,
God.
So now, do you believe in this God? While we're having somebody ask some questions,
Is
Bob,
he the same one that has crippled children born all over the place, dying, starvation, wars? Didn't he know that was going to happen? Why do you allow it to happen? Then he'd have to be an awful evil God, wouldn't he,
Okay,
Johnny?
here we go. Now, this is what I asked Bob during the break. Bob now is diminishing God. And
No, I'm not.
okay, do you believe that God is a loving God?
Whoever is your God, I don't like him.
Okay,
Whoever is your God, I don't like him.
well, did the
Johnny.
all-powerful being create everybody?
I have no way of knowing. I got a Darwin thing right next year. I'll read
Okay.
that to you.
Well, here
Let's try
you
to get
did
to
know.
that because I'm going to show you.
Okay, can we go up?
You just take too much time. I'm going to get and read my stuff. I ain't got time for you. Your church is anti-Semitic too, isn't it?
Okay. I'm trying to play a clip, y'all, that Bob Lawson tells a woman who husband
Oh, I love
is
that. Yeah,
divorced.
play that one. I
All right,
want to see
okay.
it because I was proud of myself. I gave the lady great
How about, could you
compassion.
be quiet just a minute while I do this?
What do I have to be quiet for you to
You've
punch
asked
a
all
button?
the questions. Look at all those pages of questions you have.
Jesus Christ! Just punch the button. God, what a moron!
Would give me my beautiful little girl that I have now.
I agree. I think that God is a loving God, and I think a lot of people are going to find out that some of the things that they read or
I gave the yeah. You don't want to hear the good
No,
advice I
want
gave the
to
lady.
hear the part where you said God is a loving God.
That's
now,
right.
Now, agnostic.
That's not your God.
Help us with agnosticism again. You
Okay,
don't
I
know?
believe there's a God. I'm just not sure which one it is.
That's
Johnny.
not what you started out saying.
It's what I said. There's all power. Who is all powerful? Who
You
besides
started
God is
out saying,
listen to me, Johnny. Who is all powerful if he ain't
that's
God?
basically what we do all through the
Who is
show,
all powerful?
is you said that
If I say
agnosticism,
somebody is all powerful, would that be God?
agnosticism means I don't know. Do you know or don't you know?
Agnostic. It doesn't. It means that I'm in search of my knowledge. You have already condemned.
You know, there's
yourself.
another word that means searching. Agnosticism, Bob. Do you know your
Is
words?
your church anti-Semitic?
Agnosticism.
I know
The
agnostic.
alpha negative before Gnostic means I don't know. Are you an agnostic? Do you not know, or do you not know your words?
Well, obviously, I'm in search, Johnny.
Why don't you
So
say
if a
you're a
person's in
searcher?
search,
Why don't you say you're a searcher?
if a person's in search, then he don't know what it.
No, that's
he
not
don't know
necessarily.
who's-
There's a lot of
Johnny,
people who are searching.
You can rant and rave all night long. It ain't going to do you no
But see,
good.
you told this woman, you
You
affirmed.
don't tell me what I am. Who are you to tell me who I am?
We're asking, Bob, don't get
I
excited.
had just told you
Don't
who
get
I am.
excited.
I just
We're
told
simply
you.
asking
Your
you
church
a
is also.
question.
I'm going to read the rest of this. I don't want to hear you. Your church is also anti-Semitic.
How do you
How many
determine that?
churches have you been forced to leave?
How-
How many churches
How
have you
many,
been
how
forced?
did you turn? Can we just ask one question at a time?
No, these are not questions
Oh.
for you. I'm just questions I'm reading.
Okay. These are
You
his
can answer this one.
stipulations.
You can answer this one. How many churches have you been forced out
I
of?
want to go back to the other one about anti-Semitic.
Okay, go ahead.
All right. How did you determine we were anti-Semitic?
Because you preach against the Jews.
All right. So is Jimmy Carter, the president, anti-Semitic?
A lot of people say it was, yeah.
I'm asking you.
Well, of course, a lot of people
How
say
about
he was
you,
the
Bob?
most loving
How
president
about
ever.
you?
And
Can you not speak for yourself? We're asking you, Bob.
What are you asking me?
Can't pay attention, can you?
Well, you asked me
Is
about
that
Jimmy
some kind of
Carter. How did
compulsive-
you go from now to Jimmy Carter?
Because Jimmy Carter was the person who undid public policy all the way back to like 30 years by bringing up the Palestinian state.
Right, and I
Okay,
agree
is
with
he
him.
an-
I agree with
Is
him.
he anti-Semitic?
No.
Okay, that's
He
what I
was,
teach.
he was for fairness.
Okay, that's what I teach.
Well, I'm on the Palestinian side. Always have been.
Oh, wait a minute. Let's don't leave that then.
No, we're running out of time, and I got a lot of
Oh,
stuff to read
because your
here.
point didn't get
How many
made.
churches have you been kicked out of, Johnny?
Kicked out of?
Or been forced to leave?
I don't know how you would determine I'm forced to leave. Like
Well,
the
if you're
church?
not there anymore,
No, the
there's-
church in Collinsville.
if
You
you've
want-
been kicked out of more churches than I
Do
have
you wanna
TV
know?
station, I never been kicked out of a TV station.
Do you want to know?
Yeah.
The church in Collinsville, I was there, and 2/3 of the membership decided that the present leadership wasn't following the Bible. So 2/3 of them moved to another property that we owned, and we set up that congregation.
So you left with your sheep. Do you have a degree in anything, do you, Johnny?
A degree that you would recognize?
Yeah.
No.
What kind of degree wouldn't I recognize? What makes you a pastor?
Well,
Are you ordained,
First,
or-
you asked the question, what kind of degree would you
Yeah, what kind of
recognize?
degree do you
Okay.
have?
Jerry Falwell's University gives a Pentecostal a degree, but the Pentecostal can't then preach for the Baptist church. So you see, I don't adhere to that kind of hypocrisy.
You believe in miracles?
Did you hear what I said?
Yeah, I heard you. Do you
Okay, so
believe in,
that's why I don't have a degree from those kinds of schools, because they actually pay the fee to get the paper, but the paper doesn't mean enough that you can preach in a Baptist church if you believe in miracles today and speak in tongues. So no, I don't believe that miracles are happening today like they do in the first century. The guy who had the tent down at Axton, I asked him to come up to the hospital and do what they did in the first century. You know what he said? I'm not going to the hospital.
Okay, let me give you my Darwin thing, okay? You've been anxious to hear my views. I got what here's on Darwin, and then
Now, you know, really, Bob, really, I didn't know this show was about you.
yeah, it's about me. I'm the one who put it together, Johnny. You had nothing to do with it. We had
Oh,
to
really?
beg you to even come on here. But go
Did you
ahead.
have
I'll
to
let
beg
you.
me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Man, I was dying. In 2007,
I'll
I
beg you there.
begged you. I actually played it last
I would
week.
never come on your show because you would be even worse than you are tonight.
So
I've
have
seen
I not
people
been
on
fair?
your show.
Have I not
I've
been
seen
fair?
you threaten to walk off your own show when that guy
Really?
from California up there,
No.
and they're talking about the wine master. I'm paying $500, and you're
Okay.
getting more time than I am.
Okay, I want to just put this out there because I'll demonstrate this later. I paid for 4 nights for that man to come down here. I paid for all the costs.
And he
I-
made a fool out of you,
That's
so that
fine.
wasn't
That's
money
your
well
opinion.
spent.
But anyway, here's the facts. I paid for all the time. I let him have all of that time. And
Well,
then on
can
Sunday
we
night,
just-
you don't want to hear the facts, do you?
No, because yours is gobbledygook.
Okay,
is
no-
all it is.
No, that's what you said about the Bible.
I said no. Your version of the Bible is gobbledygook.
Oh, is that how that was? My version of the Bible?
Now I'm not going to go through this, Charles. I mean,
You know why? Because it demonstrates Bob Lawson says one thing out of one side of his mouth and another
No,
out of
that's
another.
what you want
And
everybody.
Charles said
that's
you
what-
were a flip-flopper. You were here. You're never coming back.
Johnny,
I'm never
you've
coming
been
back to this
caught in
mountain.
about
I'm never
50
coming to this
lies.
mountain.
You've been
Then
caught
you
about
go to
50
Bill White's
lies.
station,
You've
and
been
where
caught
are you
about
today?
50 lies
Back
tonight.
over here
You've been caught
with
about
all the
50 lies
phonies
tonight.
the persons who work for the
You've been caught
devil,
about 50
the
lies
people that you
tonight.
can't
You have
stand,
lied like crazy. You go around sentencing everybody.
and you don't want to
else.
hear that it was actually the whole Bible.
I've heard the thing, Johnny.
Have you?
You played it on every show you
Well, what
had.
did it say?
And it's just
What did
like
you say?
have a grown pastor here, you know,
Demonstrating that you can't remember or you lie all the time. Which is it?
Johnny, those choices I'm not going to accept either one because they're ignorant choices accumulated by your stupid little brain.
What was that word?
Your two brain
What did you
cells
say?
are
Accumulated?
accumulated.
Now,
See how childish he is?
Yeah.
See how childish he is? Only a childish, obsessed person would act like that.
But
and
you
you
asked me
expect
about my
people to
degree.
follow you.
Bob,
You expect people to
Bob.
follow you.
You asked me about my degree.
I'd like to hear some people call in. I know Johnny don't like
I
the phone
love the
because
phone
that's-
calls. But let's can we hear him talk about the Bible? Whose Bible? Go ahead, let's go.
Well, sir, I can show that you probably are dishonest too. You want to try?
Well, you're the one sitting up there, not
You
me.
want to try? Well, how about we'll just put you in my position? You
What
want
does
to go?
anyone need to know about the Bible other than just to obey the Ten Commandments? What would I need to know all that other?
Well, how about you ask God, why didn't he just give you the Ten Commandments and leave the rest of this out?
Well, that would make more sense to me. If you obey the Ten Commandments, isn't that all you need to do?
You just said that you make more sense than God, so we'll just let you live with that, sir.
Well, to me, I do. If I have to listen to what you're saying
You
as
don't have to
God.
listen to me. We asked you, how about this? You said you'd
Hold
rather have
on.
10 commandments than this, so you said it makes more sense. So the community just heard you say,
See, there you go with
make
that
more sense
compulsive
than God.
disorder again. You cannot stand to hear another person's point of view. It drives you up a
I
wall.
love it. I love your
You've
point of view.
already said you're so hyper, so I think you have some other conditions also.
Well-
You know, Thomas Jefferson.
The thing too, you can't talk about his
See, he just proved
disorders.
himself wrong right there.
What?
I said your version is
No,
probably good.
we didn't finish it. I just, I'll let you hear it during the break.
I've heard it, Johnny.
Welcome back. We're going to take some phone calls. You want to make a point?
I'm going to read real quick. This side here is Darwin's theory, and then this is my version here.
Are you having fun yet, Bob?
Oh yeah, I love it.
Can I tell the community why you're bringing up Darwin?
Because you forced me to.
I did?
Yeah.
I control you.
When
I control you?
John. If you knew how little control you had over
I
me,
forced you
or
to just
how
say it.
insignificant you are to me,
You're later going to say
you're
it.
a vermin to me. Is
You're
all
going to
you
later
are.
say, I thought it was roadkill.
When Darwin first said, looking at man's physical frame, that it seems he was evolved from some species of monkey, we were shocked and could not easily take it. How could monkey suddenly replace God? It came as a great blow to our egos. Darwin backed his theory with powerful evidence, and the whole scientific discipline supported him. That is why, in spite of tremendous opposition, it had to be accepted. There was no way out. Darwin was searching for the missing link between man and monkey. He believed that there must be some species in the evolution of the two that was halfway between the two. There had to be a transitory period which it took to evolve into man. It should have been over millions of years.
He really gets a lot of time.
Okay, all right. Let me. I'll read you mine. This is what I believe. Okay?
I was commenting
no
on how much time you take, and I can't say anything. If
There's
I
no
was to read
scientific
something,
conspiracy that Earth is not 6 or 60,000 years old. That's a propaganda with no basis in reality. I believe that fate doesn't need to make one blind to reality, nor as excuse to ignore the facts. Science and spirituality need not to be mutually exclusive. It's just as impressive of God or
notice how
whomever
we're all sitting here while
made
he takes
the
over.
Earth 4.5 billion years ago. See, God, you can have both. You can have evolution and God. And it was part of the
Where'd you get your degree?
I got degrees, Johnny.
What are they?
I'm not telling you what my degrees are, but I do have degrees.
Well, why don't you tell us?
It's easier to blindly
Why don't you
believe
tell
as
us?
opposed to
Why don't you
using the
tell
brain.
us?
And it's about being upfront and telling things.
No, it ain't. No, my personal life ain't none of your business or yours either.
Double standard again.
No, it's
You come on here
Really?
asking me all these questions.
Okay, tell me who your cellmate was, Johnny.
I thought we were asking you a question.
Well, no, now I'm asking you one. You want me to tell you what I got a degree in, right?
Yeah.
Okay, none of your business.
Okay.
There you go. Simple.
Okay. Now
You're
what?
Such a vermin.
Okay. Can we get back to Darwin then? What was his degree in?
I don't really care what his theory was accepted. It's in our schools now, so that makes you the dummy.
Okay. The Bible used to be in the school, so that makes you the dummy.
No, it ain't there no more, so that makes back
Okay. Now
dummy
wait a
back
minute. Wait a minute.
two
So-
dummies to one dummy.
Wait a minute. Your argument was if it's in the school, it's right. So the Bible for
I
how
didn't
many?
say if it was in.
What was
Why?
you saying? What were you saying?
He proved the theory
Proved?
of evolution. Yeah,
Proved?
I showed you. I just read you the fact.
No, you read
But
some.
you think the
you
school
read
would have
some
took
writing
it? You think
that
the school would have took it if it wasn't fact?
Okay.
They teach it in school now as fact,
Really?
and that's the way it should be.
So they teach.
But in my theory, you can
Bob,
have
can I say
evolution
something?
and God.
Can I say
God
something?
can be part of that overall scheme.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, that's enough.
That's enough. What?
Go ahead.
Okay. Darwin's degree was in theology. That's the only degree he had.
Take
Now-
some calls, yeah.
Let me finish.
And so basically you're pinning
It has
all of
nothing
this.
to do with this, what Darwin's theory, what he had. I mean, what he had for breakfast. That's like saying what he had for
Wait
breakfast.
a minute.
Who care what he had
Wait
for
a
breakfast?
minute. You mean to tell me that your doctor's degree doesn't matter?
Sure it does.
Okay.
Sure it does.
All right. His basic credentials matter to you. Now, Darwin wasn't a scientist and he had no scientific training.
Did real good for himself, didn't he?
If that's how you prove something, yes, a preacher.
Proof is in the pudding, Johnny. You
No,
know,
he
get
didn't
from
prove anything. So see,
Okay.
I'm just showing. I'm
Okay,
just
he
showing.
didn't prove anything. It's in our schools, but he didn't prove anything. Okay.
Oh, so everything that's taught in our schools is true.
Well, you got to have some fact there.
Okay. So the homosexual gene.
The homosexual gene, a person is born with it. There's something goes wrong during their birth that mix up their chromosomes, the hormones, and things of that nature. No person on this earth would choose to be a homosexual. I have great compassion for people that are homosexuals, and it's not their fault.
We're not talking about compassion. We're talking about facts.
I'm talking about
your
you
own.
have no compassion. You're not going to talk about a subject you know nothing about, and that would be compassion and concern about people. Let's go to the
Wait a
phone.
minute. What difference does it make what you know? You just said that you don't even have to have a degree to come up with a scientific theory. Now, how come I have to have knowledge?
Well, he did it without a degree. And that proof to you?
No, him coming up with an idea that has not been proved, Bob. That's
But
not
you
proof.
hadn't been proof. It's in the schools.
And-
It's accepted theory
Okay, slavery used to be accepted in the United States.
by conservatives mostly. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
You think that Lincoln wasn't a conservative?
He probably was. Yeah.
Okay, so you just gave up on that one, didn't you?
Johnny, if you
It's
make
simple.
sense,
This is
if
so
you make
simple.
sense once in a while,
How about John Jay,
if you make sense once in a while,
governor of New York?
I don't care.
You don't know.
Slavery was wrong,
don't
Johnny.
know.
We all know, and we know
You
the
know-
reason the
you know why
South
it
votes.
stayed so long?
We know the reason the South votes Republican now is because
You
of
know
the
why it stayed?
Dixiecrats.
You know why it stayed so long? Is because people were inconsistent, Bob. They wouldn't accept plain things. Just like tonight, I've demonstrated over and over and over
No, you haven't.
that you say one thing.
Only in your mind, John. You're a legend in your own
Okay.
mind. Legend in your own
We're going to
mind.
shift gears here and let's let the crowd get into it a little bit. And I kind of want them to have some questions
All right, go ahead.
and maybe let the question and answer. I want both of you guys to
That's fine.
get into it. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, good evening. I'd like to make a comment.
All right, your comment can only be 15 seconds. Go.
Okay, I agree with Mr. Lawson about homosexuality. They really don't know what causes homosexuality. I am gay, and it's been a terrible struggle. It's been a living hell trying to change something I have no control over.
Can I say something?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, sir. The APA says, I heard you the other night say that you've been a homosexual since you're in the first grade. The
Yeah.
APA says that sexuality is not developed in the first grade. And Bob Lawson said that the gay gene has been proved. And sir, the APA has just come out this year denying that there's any scientific facts to the gay gene. Now, where do you two get this idea, and how did you determine you were sexual in the first
don't
grade?
determine anything.
He said first
It's
grade.
At some point in your life, that's when at the point in his life where he discovered that he was different.
He was being sexual in the first grade.
No, he discovered it. Well, I like girls in the first grade.
Well, let me ask you this.
Sex
question.
with
How
girls?
can you have compassion for homosexuality and then use the word faggot?
Because that was a derogatory term I just laid on you, Charles, because that's what came out of my mouth. But everybody,
But
knows-
Why don't you answer the
But
question?
obviously,
I did answer the question.
that's not compassion. And you've been
Well, now I have compassion. Then I didn't.
See, that's what we're saying.
but
You're one way one
both
time,
of you, both
and
of
you're
you,
another way another
both
time.
of you are teaming up now, and what you don't
No, what it
consider
is we both
what
see
led up
you.
to that, Charles.
We
What
both
led up
see
to
you.
that? You're
We both
throwing
see
toilet
you.
paper. You've got made up
He
calls
wasn't throwing
calling
toilet
in.
paper.
You call me post-traumatic stress.
I have the
you
show.
did all this thing. You're
I have
lucky I
the
didn't
show.
beat the crap
I
out
have the
of
show.
you.
He didn't throw toilet paper. He
His
offered you toilet
stagehand
paper.
did. His stagehand
There's
did.
no throwing on it. I just watched it
Don't
today.
give me that. Didn't he throw toilet paper on me?
That was another show.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bull crap.
And
Go
so
ahead with the
here
call.
we go.
Let the man
You're
talk.
compassionate tonight, but you
No,
weren't
you're
then.
still on the air. Go ahead.
I just want to make another comment. I just want to tell the audience out there, I mean, I've read in some cases that sexual orientation is developed between the ages of 18 months.
But if you use the word faggot, is that compassion?
No, it's not, but a lot of people call me that, and I just laugh at them. You know, they're just making a slight.
Do you think
comment.
Bob was compassionate when he used that word?
I'm sorry.
Was
you think-
Bob compassionate when he used that word in a derogatory
No, I'll
sense?
admit that. I wasn't compassionate, but I'm totally compassionate toward this young man. I got friends,
Tonight you are.
I got friends that
Tonight
are
you are.
homosexual. No, you're never compassionate to a homosexual. You have condemned
How
them
do
to
you know?
hell, and you've condemned them
Now,
to
wait a
hell.
minute.
You condemn everybody to hell,
Now,
Johnny.
wait a minute. If
You
I
don't have
condemn a
anybody-
murderer,
you're
if
the-
I condemn a murderer, is that not compassionate to the rest of the society?
Johnny, you have no compassion. There you go with the subject that
You
you're not
can't
familiar
answer
with.
that question, can
Thanks.
you?
I just want to say this.
Are you running the show?
People
My
that
show,
are
Johnny. Not your show.
transgender,
You're on.
transgender person is very deeply rooted. So there's gay people and they're transgender. And a transgender person is who they are. It's a gene at
I
birth.
think he's fixing to
They
go off.
prove
Charles.
that.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the transgender.
Okay. The gentleman is quoting stuff that he read 18 months. I mean, who does sexual studies at 18 months? The only sexual studies that have been done by Kinsey, and Kinsey's family will not will not let out his paperwork because it would demonstrate that he was doing things that are against the law. You cannot stimulate an 18-year-old child and get away with it in this country. That's what Kinsey was doing. His family will not release his studies so that he could actually be answered. And this gentleman is bringing up stuff from the Kinsey report. That's what I say.
Well, what I'm trying to say is it's stuff that I've read.
Sir,
I have
18
no-
months?
It's stuff that I've read, but I have no idea.
What would
why
you
I become
do?
a homosexual. It was not a choice.
Sir,
Was not
18
a
months.
choice.
Are you telling our community that a person is sexual at 18 months old?
You saying homosexuality is a choice? You think it's a choice, Johnny?
But it's not
I
a
think
choice.
there's no scientific fact. If we're going to go on fact now, Bob, you brought up your man Darwin and his facts. Where's your facts for that a person is born with a gay gene? There are none.
What is the obvious answer, Johnny?
The obvious answer is facts. You're going on, it's in the school.
No, you were born that way,
No,
Johnny.
there's no proof of that.
Caller, don't you believe that a person is born that way? Nobody would make that decision.
I believe that it's a mystery, just like I am searching.
You
for
can
my
believe what you want
religious
to, but now we're talking about
beliefs.
facts.
I don't know, but I fear death because I feel like we won't know till we cross over.
You live a
I
good
feel in my heart.
you give a good life. You live a good life, and you be kind to your neighbors. I promise you, if there's a loving God, you ain't going to hell no more than anybody else.
Why
on
don't you
here.
just tell him there is a loving God?
There is a loving God. I'm just not sure which
Oh, so
one.
you're
It
not
ain't
an
Johnny.
agnostic anymore.
Don't ever believe in
You're
Johnny.
not
So
an agnostic
no,
anymore.
you're not getting me on
You
that.
can't
Johnny.
have it both ways, Bob.
If someone is all powerful, what are they, Johnny? Isn't that a
Bob,
God?
you can't have it
I
both
can.
ways.
Yeah, I can.
You
God
can?
told me I could.
Yeah.
God told me. That's what
Now,
you
see,
thought. God told me-
the community is really
All right,
safe.
thanks, caller.
Does God talk to you?
Yeah, God talks to me all the time. That's what Christians always say.
I mean,
You know, they do anything in the world and say, "Well, God told me." Like they have a calling.
I've never
No,
had God
wait a
talk.
minute.
have a
Now, wait.
calling.
Can
You
I?
have a calling, Johnny.
You know what?
You have a
He
calling,
is.
Johnny.
He's.
You ever had a
talk to you?
job?
He's
Have you
disrespecting
ever
all
had a
Christians
job?
now.
Does God talk to you?
No.
No, that's what
Never.
you do. Is
Yeah, right here.
disrespect.
That's one thing we can agree on.
Yeah, God
That's
does not
what you
talk to me.
disrespect all
No.
Christians.
You know, all the Christians out there, you're making fun of them.
No, I'm not. You make
Does
fun of
God
all
really
Christians.
talk to you?
Huh?
Are you being facetious?
I don't know who it is talking to me, Johnny. But why can't I say that if you say it and everybody else says it?
Well, you know what
Can you
psychiatrists say
prove-
about that?
I know. I'm sure that you do.
Well, he didn't say God doesn't talk to us.
Johnny says all sorts of things.
But he is consistent. I've never heard him say that God's
Oh,
talking.
bull crap.
You know, the problem that you're having is both of us happen to agree and can see that you are flip
No,
flopper.
well, that was a foregone conclusion when I came
Flip-flopper?
on here. Everybody told me, everybody warned me, said, "Don't you know Charles is a snake when you picked him up?"
Wait a minute. You think I'm being fair?
Not really, because you've allowed him to do a lot more. But I don't care.
Really? I've had a lot more time than you have.
Well, your obsessive compulsive is not going to allow you to go ahead and take a call, John. Or Charles.